What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of interesting news for everyone in this video. We had some news with Tesla, Salesforce, and Slack, and even some political news regarding the vaccine. We saw some crazy movement from Moderna, especially today. We saw it skyrocket in pre-market and do a complete 180 and end up finishing pretty red. So in this video, we're going to be talking about vaccine stocks, a little bit of EV stocks, and just overall market news. We have a really good video for everyone today. A lot of great plays. The week's been pretty awesome so far. And at the end of the video, we have a $10 million option that we will be going over. If you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. We post videos each day. But Tom, what happened in the stock market today?
There was some crazy news that came out in the middle of the day, and Washington lawmakers introduced a new $900 billion coronavirus stimulus package that was supposed to appease both Democrats and Republicans. And CNBC went ahead and reported this. And then in the middle of the day, you can see SPY actually tanked off. And that's because Mitch McConnell actually rejected the bill because he pretty much said that he wanted to have a bill that was under $500 billion. And he also said that he wanted it to be more of a targeted relief bill rather than a huge bill like it is. So that's really why the SPY ended up tanking off midday. And then that's also why it ended up going up in the middle of the day. And if we go to Dow Futures, which is /YM, you can see that the Dow also did the same type of movement. But you can see the Dow had it was a lot easier to see the movement on the Dow. So you can see the Dow really shot up once that news of the package came out. And then once it was rejected, it really tanked off a lot harder than the SPY did. But this was really the big news of the day. And this sent the market kind of haywire midday. And just like we saw, the market was up and then down. So it's just more crazy stuff continuing. And this political stuff is just never going to end. And I'm just not sure we're going to get a bill passed by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking about a stimulus deal, and the market actually broke all-time highs today, or at least the SPY did, so that was good to see at least, but I think the market's getting a little bit weak. I don't know, we're just seeing a little bit of weird movement, unless we have some outside catalyst that sends the markets up. I'm just a little cautious in the markets right now. I think we might see a little bit of a pullback, but it just depends on any catalysts that come out. But Tom, what happened with vaccine stocks today?
Yeah, I mean, this also could have hurt the market. And if we look at Moderna's stock, you can see how much they went down today. And I believe that this went down because Trump's vaccine leader said that side effects are significantly noticeable in 10 to 15% of recipients with these vaccines. And the side effects which come from the vaccine shots can last up to a day and a half, said Dr. Moncef Slaoui, who is leading the Trump administration's COVID vaccine program, Operation Warp Speed. Moderna and Pfizer have also acknowledged that their vaccines could induce side effects that are similar to symptoms associated with COVID-19, such as muscle pain, chills, headache, and fever. So, there's a lot of side effects that could happen with this. It's pretty much almost like they're giving you a little bit of the virus, it sounds like. And, I think a lot of people are going to not take the vaccines because of this. And this is really what a lot of people were scared of, is that if they had a ton of side effects, that a lot of people won't actually take the vaccine and it won't actually end up helping anything. And you can really see how much this hurt Moderna. And if we go to Moderna's daily chart, man, you can just see how big of a red candle and volatile this was today.
I mean, let's also not forget that Moderna did go from $95 to about $180 in around 5 days. So that's also just a crazy run-up. So I think part of the huge run-up has to do with hype too. And if we actually go to one of the day trades this morning, we actually had a pretty solid trade with Moderna. So Moderna was actually being watched to the downside and the upside. So we had a support at 165 on Moderna this morning. And I said, if it broke below that, I like it to the downside. And I know some people really took advantage of that the day trade, and it ended up working pretty well. So Moderna actually had a really strong reversal, but part of it's just how vaccine stocks work. Like, we just see some crazy volatility with them. You look at Pfizer when they reported that vaccine news on November 9th. They were up so much in pre-market where they just tanked when the market opened. And then, Gilead is notorious for its volatility, especially a couple months ago with just a crazy movement. So I think there's a couple reasons for its volatility, but that's definitely some interesting news that you shared.
Yeah, and I mean, I really love Gilead. You can see how their stock actually, it looks like it's starting to try to actually pull back. And I'm actually glad that it doesn't have as much volatility as it used to, because man, it just was really volatile. And just like you said, it's very similar to what Moderna looks like right now, and Pfizer almost. Like even Pfizer's chart, if we go to Pfizer and go to the 5 minute really quick, you can see how they kind of ran up more than a lot of the other stocks did actually in the morning, and then they really tanked off. And it's just weird things with the vaccine stocks. But there was some other news that came out today with Tesla, and Elon Musk actually sent an email out to his employees and said investors are giving us a lot of credit for future profitability, but if at any point they conclude that that's not going to happen, our stock will immediately get crushed like a souffle under a sledgehammer, Elon Musk wrote in the email, which was obtained by CNBC. And that's just a crazy thing to hear. And he's really worried about the cost with his company right now. And Tesla has really been expanding their factories lately, and remodeling all their American factories. And there's just a ton of things that they've been working on and advancing on. But that stuff costs a lot of money, and they're getting a lot of money with cash from their stock. But the thing is that it could really hurt them if those investors start to pull out.
True, true. I mean, they actually had a really strong run up for the past couple weeks, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look at this daily chart. You can see how much they're up. And another interesting thing is that if we look at other stocks like NIO is really starting to pull back now as well, which is another EV stock. They went from 57 down to 45 over the past 4 or 5 trading days. So it's very interesting to see a lot of these EV stocks starting to go down. What was another one? I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, LI was even down today, but not as much as NIO. NIO really was starting to fall down, and I know a lot of people have been looking to get puts on them, and I think a few people in the Discord entered them today, or at least day traded it.
Yep. And then, Tom, what's going on with that Salesforce and Slack deal?
Salesforce actually bought Slack today, which was very interesting. And you can see when their after hours movement, how much volatility actually went on this 5 minute chart. And some of this might just be, obviously in after hours, there's not as much volume going on. But, with this deal, there's a ton of stuff happening. And it's going to be tickers CRM and WORK. CRM is going to be Salesforce, and WORK is going to be Slack. And here is Slack's chart. Slack is actually slightly up, which is kind of like what we would expect, but they bought them for $27.7 billion at enterprise value, marking their largest deal ever. And through a combination of cash and stock, they're purchasing Slack for $27.69 a share and 0.0776 shares of Salesforce. So that's pretty much going to give the purchasers some shares. But Mike, could you go ahead and highlight on that?
Absolutely. So we are seeing CRM buy work, okay? And normally I actually made a video on this like 2 weeks ago, I think. The company that is buying the other company, so in this case, Salesforce, which is CRM, they are buying work. So Salesforce is going to fall because they are paying a premium to buy work. As we can see, Tom, can you pull up a daily chart of work? We can see on the daily chart that work's price skyrocketed, and that's because Salesforce is buying them at a premium. So the final details got announced today on this deal, and Salesforce is going to be purchasing Slack for $26.79 per share in cash. So if you own one share of work right now, with this deal, you're going to get $26.79 in cash. And then you're also going to get 0.0776 shares worth of Salesforce. So it's a part cash, part stock deal. This is pretty common when it comes to mergers and acquisitions. It's a little complicated if you're not familiar on the subject, but overall, basically, if you own work, you get a little bit of CRM and you get some cash. So it ends up being a pretty solid deal.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see how much work has went up over the past few days, ever since the rumors started coming out with Salesforce, and it finally happened. So it's just a good thing to see. And I really think that it's going to help both companies in the long term. Obviously, I think it's going to help work a lot more, but it's going to obviously help Salesforce a little bit as well.
Yep. All right. Well, now let's get into our Discord member of the day. Today's member of the day is Kretbo, and he made a post in the Profits channel today saying, awesome call on shorting Moderna. So that was what we talked about a little bit earlier in today's video with the day trade. He said he made 3 trades for $770 of profit. So great job, Kretbo, for that. Moderna was a great day trade. If you guys want to get day trades like this, it's the first link in the description down below for the Discord chat. It's free to join. And if you guys want to trade the same exact plays that Tom and I trade each day, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. It's been a pretty good week so far. We were holding Pfizer over the weekend to the upside, which ended up working pretty solid. We got it on Friday, and it has been doing pretty well. And then also Intel from yesterday, we were looking at it. We actually got it to the upside. So it's been pretty good. If you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I, it's the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below, which also gives you access to the machine learning bot. But let's get into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is Apple, and this is to the upside.
Yeah, with Apple to the upside, go ahead and make them break above 123.50, which was right around their high of today. And keep in mind that if Apple ends up going up, a few other tech stocks might go up, and also the QQQ might go up as well. So just also keep that in mind.
All right, and then we have Triple M, but to the downside.
Yeah, this one was actually looking pretty bearish today. Make them fall right below 170.
All right, and then we have Zoom, ZM.
ZM, this one's also to the downside, and they were doing very well with the virus, and now they're actually starting to go down. But make them fall. I would just actually make them fall right below 400.
And then we have UPS.
UPS. Yeah, these guys have been doing pretty well with the virus, but recently are also going down. Make them fall below one. I would actually make them fall below 168. If they fall below that, then make them fall below 167.75.
All right, so we are eyeing Apple to the upside. So if it breaks above the level Tom listed, we like it to the upside for a day trade. And we are eyeing Triple M, Zoom, and UPS potentially to the downside, only if they can break below the levels Tom listed. But now let's get into the $10 million options trade for this week. We are looking at the Netflix 510 strike call options that expire this Friday, December 4th. Looking at Netflix, it's looking pretty good. I mean, especially on a daily chart, it's kind of creeping up there. We can see Netflix is at around 505 right now. In after hours, we're only $5 out of the money with this option. I mean, especially if we see a lot of upwards momentum in the tech sector in the morning, I can definitely see the smart money longing this. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And with the vaccine and everything getting worse and no more stimulus packages coming out, it might even be better for Netflix, because if the virus gets worse and more people have to stay home, it'd be better for Netflix and some of these stocks that have kind of been pulling back over the past few days as we've seen a little bit of a transition.
Yeah, and then with our comments from the previous episode, with the first comment we have Tim saying, Mike and Tom, I have a question about writing puts. If I write a put and collect, let's say $100 in premium, if the stock goes up, but I don't expect it to hold those levels, can I buy back my put to close it, say for $30, and then still keep the $70 difference in premium? Thank you. So yes, you absolutely can do that, and that's very popular among people who write puts. So I think you pretty much answered your own question. You know, let's say you short a put at $100, the stock price goes up a little bit, and you think it'll fall, but you want to lock in your profits. You can absolutely buy back your put and keep the difference. So great question there. With the next question we have Mento saying, hi Mike and Tom, what do you think of XOM for the long term? Can they fall below $30? So XOM, ExxonMobil, $30 is a pretty big support. I don't like it for the long term. I think them being removed from the Dow has a lot to say about what a lot of other people and what a lot of other institutions think about them too. I really don't like them right now. It's really not looking good. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think that in the short term, I don't see ExxonMobil doing too well. Possibly in the long term, I could see them pulling back up, possibly to maybe like 45 or 50, or maybe even retesting, this $55 level eventually. But keep in mind, a lot of things will have to change with the oil market, and then also with the virus going on and stuff like that. They're actually expecting a drop in oil being or gasoline being purchased and stuff like that this winter. So that could also hurt Exxon and Mobil. And I just think that as of right now, falling below $30, I think that's a pretty solid support. I'm not sure that they'd fall below that, but I think that out of a lot of other companies, they have more of a chance to definitely fall below that.
Gotcha. Then we had Anna saying if it weren't for Apple and AMD, I would have been in trouble today. So let's take a look. How's Apple looking?
Yeah, Apple's actually looking fantastic. They have about 5 green days in a row. So that's pretty good. And they're bouncing right off that 100 SMA. They're getting kind of close to a resistance around 125. But other than that, I think that they're doing pretty well. If the overall tech sector keeps going up on a day by day basis, I think Apple's just going to continue to kill it. And they keep closing pretty strong. So I really don't see them, tanking anytime soon. I could see them possibly pulling back to maybe like 121 or 120 before they end up going up more. But that's just market movement. I don't really see them tanking anytime soon, just because this daily chart does look pretty strong.
Gotcha. And then what about AMD?
Yeah, AMD looks actually pretty similar. They look even stronger. They're about to hit all time highs, and I think that'll be a pretty big area to watch tomorrow. I'm actually not sure if they're going to do it. It looks like they're kind of double topping up here. At least in the short term, they could possibly pull back before rising, but we'll have to see what pre market looks like tomorrow.
Sounds good. And then we had Nada saying another amazing video. Thank you. So thank you for that comment. And Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the typical SPCE, and I actually called this out as part of the statistical modeling program this morning. And I actually said I called it out around this white circle and said I was looking for it to go up, but I did not actually purchase it there. I actually purchased it. I saw it double bottom here, and I drew a trend line going up here. I actually purchased it right here and ended up selling out for about 30% once it popped up to here. It was just a great trade, and I really liked it. They actually got a NASA contract, and we did not get to report this in yesterday's video because it actually came out just a little while after we actually recorded. But it was great news. They got a NASA contract. They ended up going up today. They ended up pulling back pretty good at the end of the day and bouncing off the 100 SMA here once again. So I'm going to actually be looking for them to actually go up again tomorrow. And let's go to the daily chart. Their daily chart looks really strong. And I just really like this stock, especially just because they're one of the only space stocks out there. And it just, once they get NASA contracts and stuff like that, I think that that's just going to really start setting them up. But the thing is that it's a very risky stock. I'm not saying to go out there and buy this by any means. I would only actually trade this if you're pretty experienced. It's a very volatile stock, like you could see today. It has pretty big swings where it moves up and down like 5%.
Gotcha. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to be SPCE today. Your stock's actually looking pretty good. Like, even on a daily, it's really creeping up there. It's getting closer to all-time highs, and it's looking pretty good. And I feel like this NASA contract can do nothing but help it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just see pretty good things for them in the future. The only thing that would hurt them is if they do like a test flight and a rocket blows up or crashes or something weird like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. If you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I each day and access to the machine learning bot, you can click the Stocked Up options alerts link in the description down below. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. We post new videos every single day, so really, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.